Okay, hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about my experience of the definitions of ethics and spirituality, redefined, because today's conversation is going to be more about what I initially thought to be the definitions of ethics and spirituality. And then after reading week one's course material, how my perception or understanding has been adjusted somewhat more so on the spirituality side than the ethics side. So my predetermined definitions on the ethics side were more so spot on the traditional sense of the word. Basically, ethics, it's more on the moral understanding between right and wrong. And ethics currently is a common topic at the workplace. That has a lot to do with recent events, uh, playing into consideration on basically uncovering a lot of wrongdoing at the workplace. And a lot of that has to do with leveraging technology. Technology nowadays has made it easier for companies or organizations to backtrace steps taken by individuals or departments, and then to have the ability to evaluate it. And as a result, there have been some pretty significant discoveries of cases where basically not the best decisions were made and were ethically immoral, or bottom line, were just wrong. And ethics to me covers a wide variety of things, and to name a few: human rights, finances, general integrity, harassment, labor relations, and then general responsibility. For example, if you hold a position, at a workplace, are you actually doing what you're responsible to do, and are you doing it correctly? And then understanding the consequences behind wrong decision making. Basically, understanding consequences pretty much go hand in hand throughout my experience. Many times, our experience doesn't necessarily lend itself to total understanding of what is right and wrong, meaning that there are cases where people don't truly understand business logic, and as a result aren't aware of um, the correct or incorrect actions. However, the consequences remain the same, right? So it goes with the saying, ignorance is not bliss, meaning that whether you know if something is right or wrong or not, consequences stay true to decisions that are made. And as a result of the evolution of ethics, entire departments have been created and are solely dedicated to handle such ethical issues. And again, that's through understanding of information due to recent events. So that's ethics. That's the ethics column of my brain, or my understanding of what that means. And then, as you can see on the right, spirituality, I basically equate it to religion, and basically it to be personal. And there's not much to be said about that on a personal level. It's something that I take very important to myself. I basically equated spirituality with religion and a method of personal improvement. And so, redefinition. As you can see on the right, my understanding of ethics pretty much remained the same. However, as you can see on the spirituality side, my understanding of spirituality has certainly expanded just through week one. I appreciated a lecture by the professor, and also the literature associated with this week's assignments. And so, from what I understand now, is that spirituality is basically the thing that stirs a passion in people, what motivates people. We can say drive. We can say what inspires us. And it also can help with work-life balance, meaning that if businesses integrate more spirituality training, we can do more to leverage that to increase morale at the workplace. And I also understand that spirituality is something, as explained in literature, that actually should be integrated into the workplace. So making connections. So there are potential issues, as was referenced in the material through week one, in that corporations developing spirituality at the workplace can be perceived as exploitation. Are we truly in this for the benefit of the employee, or are companies just doing that because a happier employee is a more productive employee? And that falls under the responsibility of understanding what that means and also striking a balance between what is right for the employee and the company, a collaborative win-win effort. There are benefits such as work-life balance, as I mentioned before. If we understand what the balance is and what it means, then we can actually establish a really good work-life balance. And understand that there's an ethical reason to develop spirituality at the workplace, meaning that they are actually both connected, meaning in the sense that if we truly handle spirituality for what it was intended to be, it actually can improve ethical reasoning at the workplace. So the long-term effects is that, as I mentioned before, happier employees are actually more productive. If you feel good about going to your job in the morning, you feel more motivated to do what you are responsible to do and do it actually efficiently. There would be less employee turnover because you are happier where you work. You feel that you don't want to leave. You feel like that you are where you're supposed to be, pretty much. And that you're leveraging technology. And as a result, we've learned that through 2020 and the pandemic, that technology actually made it more feasible for employers to enhance their flexibility. And that increased remote working was one of the byproducts of last year's experience. And actually, there have been studies that showed that employees have been more productive in many cases while working remotely, which is something that surprised me because working from home wasn't necessarily something that I thought. I personally haven't had the experience of working from home because I work in emergencies. However, my understanding is that people have gone the extra mile because they feel more comfortable working from home. And so my conclusion is that success will be determined by progressive thinking, meaning that part of the week one theme is that we can only go into this with an open mind, meaning that if you go into trying to understand a new concept with your predetermined definition without allowing that flexibility to learn something new, then you won't be successful. Opening your mind to new information is very important for in determining the success of a new initiative. And understanding workplace dynamics, as I mentioned before, 2020 actually forced many workplaces to change the way they do business. Understanding that, how can you leverage that? How can you enhance that, even as we go into more of a state of normalcy in 2021 and beyond? The balance between in-person and remote work. Professor did speak about that. We have to understand what is the balance, striking the right balance. How much should we work from home and how much should we work in person, so that way employees and employers do not feel alienated with the work that they're responsible for. And running an analysis. So we have to objectively compare benefits, the pros and the cons. And if the benefits outweigh the challenges, which the information through week one certainly suggests that is the case, then this certainly should be carried out. So that's my experience. My outlook has definitely been adjusted. And I am actually very eager to learn more about spirituality at the workplace. Again, ethics as well, obviously, but that's more ingrained in my world now. Spirituality for me is a new concept. I certainly feel like I am going to subscribe to it. I probably already have, just based on week one's information. And that's all I have. Thank you for your time, everyone.